Hey guys, what's up? I'm Palak Lakhani. In this channel, I make educational videos focusing mainly on studying, working, and living in Germany. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. So in today's video, we have Khyati and Bhavya with us, who are studying MSc in Pharmaceutical Biotechnology from Martin Luther University of Halle-Wittenberg. They will be sharing their experience today with all of you, so you can understand if you want to pursue this course in Germany or not.
Right.
I will tell Khyati to introduce herself and then Bhavya will follow her.
Hello friends, I'm Khyati. I'm currently pursuing my Masters in Pharmaceutical and Industrial Biotechnology and I'm in my first year right now, doing my second semester. In my 12th I had scored somewhere around 80 to 83% and my bachelor score was 8.2 CGPA and my IELTS score is 7.
Hi guys, my name is Bhavya Shivalingam. I am doing my Masters in Pharmaceutical Biotechnology in the second year, in the fourth semester. I had done my bachelor's also in biotechnology and I had an aggregate of about 78% and in my 12th it was almost around 80%, and I also worked for 4 years in defense research.
Thank you so much, Khyati and Bhavya. So, why did you choose to study pharmaceutical biotechnology?
Because I was working in biotech research already. I was working mostly on biopolymers, and I know in this course and this place it was mostly so it's pharmaceutical and industrial, and we get to choose one of these. And I wanted pharmaceutical because with drug delivery or with biopolymers, you have a lot of research work going on further. So that was my future perspective.
Okay.
In my bachelor's, I had various topics like pharmaceutical technology and molecular biology and all. So these were a few streams I wanted to get into for my master's. And after my bachelor's, even I had worked at a pharma company, but I was into the marketing role. So having tried out marketing, I really wanted to get back to science, and hence I applied for master's in this field.
What are the major differences between pharmaceutical and industrial biotechnology?
So in pharmaceutical, the most of the research will be based on the upstream processing, and in industrial work, it's mostly with the downstream processing on how to control the conditions for downstreaming and the kinetics and biocatalysis and all of that in industrial.
Okay. What are the different modules that you study semester-wise in this course?
So modules wise, one thing with the industrial and pharma, the difference is that during our first semester and the second semester, we have one module difference for both industrial and pharma, and the remaining 3 modules are the same. It's common between the two groups. But during our third semester, the 3 modules are different for the industrial and for the pharma. Prospective students can find the whole cumulative overview of the modules on the university website.
Okay.
In the first semester of pharma, we basically had about drug target and validation and the basics and all to get you into the course, and for the industrial it was about metabolomics, systems biology and basic organic chemistry, like that.
Not many of them know this. When they think it's pharmaceutical and industrial biotechnology, the degree name, they think both are covered in the degree. But what actually happens is the professors have a random selection process where they divide the whole 30 students into 2 different batches on random selection. So half of the class will be in pharma courses and half will be in industrial.
Okay.
So if you want to change with somebody, if they're on mutual basis, you can change the places whether to pharma or industrial.
Okay.
Because I did not know this when I joined, so I got to know.
Okay.
But irrespective of whether you move into pharma or industrial, but your entire, at the end your degree is still masters in pharmaceutical and industrial biotechnology.
Yeah, that is.
How is the entire course structured semester-wise?
So I would like to say the syllabus or whatever they have planned is based on the research work that is happening here. So if the professor is working in this particular research or that project, so they have made a syllabus based on that work. So whatever sciences you need for that work and for that research work.
Okay. What are the required documents that you need for getting an admission to this course?
First and foremost, of course, we need our degree certificate from our bachelor's course. Then we also need our 10th and 12th standard certificates. After that, we need IELTS, a proof of language that can be either IELTS or TOEFL. And if we have our work experience, that letter can be there, but that's just optional, it's not compulsory.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the main
is
documents.
Also the letter of motivation or the SOP.
Okay.
And also letter of references will do a really good job for these people. So if your previous professor or some your supervisor at work can give you a letter of reference. They can look at how your conduct was before and how you pick up things and how you study.
Okay. How to apply to this course? You apply directly or via UniAssist?
For this university, I think it is only through UniAssist, and they have particular deadlines for each university, or open and closed deadlines. So you apply everything online and send them the hard copy of your documents, and once the deadline is over, they scrutinize all the forms, and then based on that they give you the admission or
Okay.
not.
What is the application deadline each year for winter semester?
So when I had applied, the deadline was 31st of March, but this time, probably because of the COVID pandemic, I think they've regularized the deadlines and they've extended it because of the situation.
Okay. What are the semester fees for this course?
So each semester we pay almost 215 euros, and it increases for every semester, like 5-6 euros difference. And also one more thing is about the lab fees, which we pay yearly basis. So we paid 250 euros per year for 2 years.
For using the equipments in the lab and
equipments
everything.
and the consumables in the lab.
Okay. And what is included in the semester ticket?
In the semester fees which we pay, the semester ticket is included for traveling inside Halle and around the cities, even to Leipzig, the closest city. And other than that, you have some student benefits in restaurants and
So you get
cafes.
student discounts
Yes,
and
yes,
everything.
that's it.
Okay. How much different is it from your education in India, from your course in India?
I wouldn't say it's a lot different, because in bachelor's they cover almost a brief of all the fields of biotechnology, and here, because it's focused only in pharma for us, they just go in deeper. So you know the basic topic, you learn more details about it.
Okay. Good. How hectic is each semester? Do you get time to do language course or do any sport or something?
This being my second semester, I have experienced the first semester, and first semester is a little hectic because you've just moved to a completely different country and a new city, and you're all on your own. So you do have a lot of new things to learn, to do, and all that. So it's a little hectic, but of course you do find time to do your German language course or any other sports that you want, because I personally also was doing my language course as well. But as time goes by, you get used to it, you get used to the environment, and then it's not so difficult or hectic.
I agree. First and second semester, first semester you get some time, you need some time to get used to it. Second is very relaxed compared to the first semester, and you have a lot of time to do other activities. Not just language classes, which is also important, but you also have these university sports center where you can register for so many other sports, and just activities like badminton, chess, or whatever you want to play, swimming and all of that. So you do have a lot of other time for social life.
Okay. Good. What labs do you have to attend during this entire course? Like in third semester, which labs do you attend?
In third semester, we had like 2-3 labs that was based on the theoretical classes which we attended in the beginning, and it's mostly on immunological projects or experiments, and that was out of station for us because our professor had a different lab there. And one more was in Halle, and that was based on animal cells and the work with animal cells adhering on the polymers and all
Okay.
of that.
In the first semester, to start with, we have an introductory lab course with the basic techniques. It's probably just a refreshment for us to what we've already done in our bachelor's.
And
And-
could you name those?
Yeah, so we for this lab we have the name of the lab itself is basic techniques,
Okay.
and we just go through the simple techniques which are really required for our basic experiments in the field of biotechnology. And after that, we also have one more lab for molecular biology as well as for phototropic organisms, and with the recombinant biotechnology.
Yeah, so in second semester you have these downstream labs, and you have a lot of labs in second semester and a lot of seminars to present and a lot of protocols to write, because second semester it's more of your to show your personal talent in how your report writing is and how you can present your work and what results you get in the lab. So I think second semester you have a lot of activities to do instead of just theoretical work.
Okay. Which equipments do you use in labs, and which softwares do you use for them?
Equipments as such is very simple ones like centrifuge and SDS units and lab, whatever we use in a normal biotech lab. Softwares, we have one lab based on the software Berkeley Madonna. It's for downstream processing, and it is for working with fermenters and bioreactors.
Okay.
So that is a very new software which they will be learning next.
Okay. How are the exams conducted? Are there oral exams, written exams, or do you give presentations, or are there MCQ based exams?
So far, the exams that we've had has always been a written examination. But of course, we do have presentations and everything, but it's not graded.
Okay.
It's just for us to improve our soft skills and how well to present the topic and everything. So yeah, mainly it's just written examinations, and probably now I think we are expecting a pattern change because of the COVID pandemic. But that's again subjective. I'm not sure how long that would last.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you see exams, it's mostly written, but for the labs, before you start the lab, there is one written exam which you have to pass to start the lab, and also there is oral exam. So you're supposed to prepare for the topics, and the teacher will just ask you viva based on that. Mostly it's written, and whatever presentations you do is not graded, except for 1 or 2 modules they grade the presentation, and it is included in your final marks. And yeah, it's mostly theoretical.
Okay. Have a mini project or an internship in third semester?
Yeah. In third semester, the fourth module, 3 modules are theoretical, and fourth module is mandatory internship work. That is a project for 15 credits, if I'm not wrong. And you have, in a week, you have 2 days to do your project, and the other 3 days you have lectures going on.
Okay.
So project is a mandatory thing, and the fourth semester is fully thesis.
Okay. How do you find a mini project or an internship? Like which companies do you apply to, or how do you apply?
Yeah. So for the project, they have a rule here that you have to work under your professors, one of
Okay.
your professors. So for project, if you find any of the professors' work interesting, you can approach them directly, mail them, or get an appointment and talk to them that you have had some experience or you are interested to learn something new, and you can start working with them in their project. If they have vacancies, and if they are willing to pay, if they have funds or not, that is up to the professors.
Okay. Can you continue your master thesis at the same place where you did your internship, or it's not compulsory?
It's not compulsory. If you really like the work you did in your project, you can always ask your professor if you want to continue the work, or if you want something new and you want a different approach or different project to work on, then you can always approach some other professors. And for thesis, it's not a mandatory thing that you have to work only with your professors. You can even apply for companies or institutes where you can find a external supervisor, and one of your professors will be your internal supervisor.
Okay.
So you can manage if you want
Okay.
outside of.
Has COVID-19 affected your chances of getting an internship or your thesis? And if yes, then how are you coping with it?
Yeah, I would definitely say yes. For me, it didn't affect that much because before this pandemic issue had started, I had already started my project, so I had a contract already. So because of this COVID pandemic, they didn't want to make new contracts for students, and many of my friends face this problem to start their project during this time. So now what they've done is just to delay their contract because of the regulations and stuff. And some people even work without a contract to make sure maybe in the end of the pandemic they can make a contract and finish the project.
Okay. Okay. So what are the different famous companies working in your field?
If you see in pharma, there are many big companies and as well as startup companies here. There was even one of the students, one of our seniors, who opened his own startup, and he comes to tell us about that during our classes. So one such big companies is IDT Biologica. We had gone there for an industrial visit, so we know about it. It's about sterilization techniques and stuff. And other than that, you have companies like Novozymes, which works with enzymes, and there's HMC, which works with biopolymers, and many small other companies in our Weinberg campus itself. So
Okay.
yeah, and there's also Boehringer Ingelheim. This is also one of the big biotech companies here in Germany.
Good. What do you think are the future scope after completion of this course?
In case you want to continue into the research field, then of course you can apply for PhDs and continue with your research work, or of course you do have chances to work in the industry, and in that case, being in the having done pharmaceutical biotechnology degree, we can apply to pharmaceutical companies and probably work in the research department or in the quality control and quality assessment departments. But there are so many opportunities also in the downstream processing industry, because that is one of the widely used application of biotechnology.
What is the average salary of a pharmaceutical biotechnologist in Europe and in Germany?
So in general, I think if you're having an experience of 1 to 4 years, or even for freshers, you can expect 2,000 to 3,000 euros per month, and this is including your tax. So in hand, you will get a little lesser than
Okay.
this. That should be noted. And if you're having more than that, like say 5 to 9 years of experience, then you might get some 4 to 5,000 euros per month.
Okay. Is it easy to find a job in your field, or would you recommend a student to continue with their PhD?
Here, as far as I have seen, getting a PhD position is much easier than getting a job because here mostly research work has been going on already and you're already learning their techniques and work. So it's easier to get a PhD position. If you really want to just do a job, then you have to make sure you're doing a thesis based on what work you would want to do in the future.
Okay.
So if you plan your work accordingly while you're studying, then you can apply for different jobs like in the west of Germany and other places.
What do you think? How important is it to learn German for applying to job in Germany?
I would say very important. So in the beginning, nobody takes it so seriously about learning German because they can manage with English in the classes and nobody takes so much importance. But in the future, if you want to like do PhD or even jobs, even while applying, if you tell I have some B2 certificate of German, even the chances of them calling you for a personal interview is higher.
Okay.
Rather than saying I have A1, and obviously they will not be able to communicate with
Yeah.
you because they want their language to be spoken.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think German is very important.
Good. Okay. So, any final advice that you both would like to give to the prospective students?
I would definitely advise them to do this course because I find this course very informative and very detailed based on the work they're doing here, very, very structured to that.
Okay.
And if you're really interested in this work which is happening here and the structure, if you can see in the website, yes, I would advise them to apply and start putting in efforts from the beginning itself to get a better future in work or
Okay.
PhD.
Probably I would just agree with Bhavya as well. So in case this is something their topic of interest or some in the field of interest is of their choice, then definitely they should apply to this course. And all I would say is they should, like when they are applying for the university, they really need to be they should plan it out really well and start applying in advance so that they don't miss out on any chance. That's it.
Okay.
Also, one more thing, I think we didn't talk about the part-time job opportunities here. So, since we have a relaxed semesters and classes, there's always very high, a lot of time to do your part-time job and earn some extra money for your social life.
Okay. Good. That's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then please hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel. And if you have any further questions, then you can leave them in the comment section below. Stay safe and take care.
Bye. All the
Bye-bye.
best.
All the best.
Right.